don't worry. I'm going to get to them. You guys are more welcome to ask. Like I always tell you, I also put my email below. Some of you also have my direct cell phone number. So please, pretty please, do not contact the phone number of the business. And please do not contact the secretary. They are all very busy. So anyways, hey everyone, Dave here with Affordable Door and Gate. I wanted to talk today about tubes. And why? Because I've had some of you guys ask about these tubes that are on the truck. Let me make sure. Looks like we have audio. So, the big tube. The big tube. Yes. So we used to roll with 3-inch tubes. Sometimes one and sometimes two. What we ended up finding on the work vans, it worked out good just to have one right down the center. Let me show you if I can here. Go for a little walkie. Right down the center though, because it's gonna be really bright. The sun's beautiful today. We have ladder racks. We have the ladder rack on both sides, right? So normally we have a pull-out ladder and then we have a extension ladder on our trucks for some of our commercial customers. So what do we keep in the torsion tubes? Now these are 6-inch, right? We've upgraded to 6-inch. And the 6-inch, I have not heard any complaints about the 6-inch. So I'm trying to get you mounted here on the tripod. It's being a little difficult, I ain't gonna lie. So these are 6-inch diameter tubes. Not gonna lie, PVC has gone up a lot. They're expensive. Now originally, I hired a company to fabricate this post right here that actually mounts to the bumper. And what's really nice, I'm gonna unmount you so I'm professional, is it just goes right where your license plate. And they got the fancy brackets and everything that work out really good, the U-bolts. So let's take a look. And this is a really nice cap. Got this ladder rack. As you see, we got U-bolts on there. Holds it down. Then we got this sweet cap. The only bad thing I found out about this cap was I forgot I got to knock this. These right here will cut you because I put the cap on with the screws. Little Sharpie point there. Doesn't look. Oh, there's some stuff in there. I also put a lock on it with these caps. So those work really nice. So a couple things about this setup. I wanted to explain to some of you guys about what I keep in them, because I've had you guys ask about them. So what I do is I basically keep the way I run my truck when I had my tubes is I would keep now here's a little caveat to it, right? The world is going to, like, there's becoming more 18-inch struts, right? So I'm not saying like just use whatever you feel is comfortable. You want to carry 18-foot struts, go with 18-foot struts. You want to carry 18-foot tubes, carry 18-foot tubes. But generically, what I would run with is I would carry a 16-foot strut, just one, 2-inch on there, right? 16, that'd get me out of most of my pickles, especially for my residential. I'd carry one 3-inch strut. Same thing, reason is if I came across a Wayne Dalton or I came across something that was severely heavy damaged. And sometimes what I would do is sometimes I needed two struts. So one would be a 2-inch, one would be a 3-inch. Typically I put the 3-inch in combination where it looked right, maybe at the top, then do a 2-inch in the middle, or you're adding it somewhere, right? I keep a hollow shaft on there on the tubes. I keep a hollow shaft 16 foot, and in my theory in my head was always, I didn't really care. If I had to cut it down for a 9-foot or let's say a 10-foot door, it is what it is, right? They paid for a full 16-foot. It was just convenience for me. It was less callbacks. It was, hey, I'm already here. I already got the door open. I already got the tools out. Bada bing, bada boom. You know what I mean? So we got the 2 struts. We got the hollow shaft. Then I would also carry, this was just me. It's a little on the heavy side, but I would actually carry a 16-foot solid shaft. And like I said, use your discretion. If you want to carry 18, I understand that too. The hollow or the solid shaft, and what I would do with the solid shaft too is I would carry a continuous key, right? The one that's got the groove in it, continuous, in case I had to cut that thing in half. Sometimes I've had to lop something off just for a little extension piece. I've had to make up certain things with certain couplers and anything, adjustable couplers, stuff like that. You just never know. But those are just certain things that I cannot get from the hardware store, and I just cannot go to the local hardware store around the corner or go to a grocery store and find that stuff. So struts, torsion tubes, hollow shaft or the hollow shaft and the solid one. I'd keep a couple licks of residential angle iron on there. Normally two sticks, just full sticks. In case I was working on a job, you run short. Now, typically, don't get me wrong, when we're going to a new construction job, right, we already load this stuff up in the back of the van, right, in the back doors. It doesn't go too much in the tube. Sometimes stuff goes in the tube if you got the room for it. And that these were always kind of considered like an emergency, right? Like, oh my gosh, we went to a commercial job site and a forklift hit the back of the track, and the track is, the angle's all jacked up, or we need something for reinforcement. That's what these tubes kind of come in for, because anytime you can eliminate a callback, right, or basically having to run back to the shop or run to a vendor, that's time saved. Time saved is more money in your pocket, and it makes a better ecosystem for everyone. So we've got torch tubes, we've got the Razee angle iron. I also would keep 2 sticks of commercial angle iron in there too. What I'd also do sometimes is I'd actually keep a lick. This was just me. A lot of the guys didn't really like it, and it gets dirty and gets wrecked over time. But like I said, I was never up in my tube that much, right? And I always would set it on top. But I would keep actually a chunk of perimeter seal, foam stop, weather seal, whatever you want to call it, right? The white stuff that goes around a garage door to seal it up. I would keep that on there because I've just had it happen a few times. And sometimes we do residential, and sometimes we're doing commercial with our vehicles, that for some reason, especially in the cold, was always real common. You'd accidentally break a chunk of weather seal, or I've been a dumb before, didn't measure twice, went to cut. You know how they say measure twice, cut once? Yeah, well, I cut something a foot short. I've cut 2 inches short, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Now, commonly, we typically always deal with white doors. So what I've also learned, just a little pro tip for you, is that if you're taking a colored door, bring some extra weather seal too, because I've also had it where people, they've miscalculated for the 45s, or like I said, you just have a boo-boo, you shoot something, you cut something too short. It's just better to have it than not to have it. Like I said, if you got an extra chunk, you throw it up in the rafters, whatever. It's for an emergency, or it's just part of the job. So don't be afraid to do that kind of stuff. So I've had also people comment on the tubes, and they've mentioned, they go, well, how do you do about the stuff? There is ways to combat that, because a lot of times what happens with these, we keep a solid cap, because I'll tell you some horror stories. I've had this happen, right? I've had this happen with I had a beautiful, I think this was the 2001, I believe I had 2 different Dodge Ram Cummins, right? And I think it was my 2001 extended cab, long box, beautiful truck, black, gray interior. It was just a beautiful truck. And the tube was off the side, and I ended up forgetting to put the cap on, and that was an old school 3-inch I had on there. That was a screw type. I shot the angle out, and I seen it coming when I went up to a stop sign, and I knew it was gonna hit the car in front of me. So I veered. I went off to the side of the shoulder, and it all went right on my fender. Messed the fender all up, scratched it, chipped it. Needed a paint job, let's just say. So I normally keep a solid cap. We can take those off in the field because they just have little self-tappers in them if we have to get in there. But there is ways to get around it. I would keep a little fork thing that I would shovel stuff out of there with these tubes. And these tubes are actually 20 foot long. I should mention that. I go a 20 foot because we know, like, let's say if you carry something that's 18 foot, especially if it's a torsion tube, it's got another foot or so on it. You know what I mean? So 20 foot has been really good. It seems like they just hold what we need. They fit the length of the van real nice, from the front bumper to the rear without any big overhang. So they sit on there really nice. But like I said, when I did the 3 inch, it was a little bit too small. Stuff was always packed in there. I ended up, on one way you can do it if you're on the cheap is you can actually take the caps, you can drill a hole in it, you can take some garage door cable, put a swedge in there, right, and then the cap will stay with, because I've lost a lot of caps too, because you set them on the roof right here and you drive off and they blow off in the wind. So put a cap, put a cable on it so it stays. And what I've noticed is that when it's sitting there, it will also, somebody driving down the road smoking, I can smell it. Anyways, that cap, when it's dangling, for some reason, it'd catch my attention. So I always knew when I'd take out of the parking lot or something, or take off from the shop, and you see that cap kind of dangling, ooh, time to pull over the side of the road. Forgot to screw on the cap. Sometimes I'd catch it in the rearview mirror too. So if you need to do something on the cheap, 3 inch is definitely a lot cheaper, but the 6 inch is the Cadillac, especially right down the center. Like I said, they work really nice. Everything seems to fit. Our outfitter that did the van was able to make it all work. I actually re-outfitted this van probably about a year ago with a new, you can barely see it, but the ladder rack, and Cap got a really good deal on it, so it worked out really good. The other one was getting all rusty, left a bunch of stains. So I think that's really all I got. Another thing you can do is you can put strings on them, let strings hang out the back pretty much. So if you need to pull, because stuff does slide forward, but like I said, these are the things that are just for emergency. That's how I look at it. And like I said, I've been there. And when you're 2 hours that way, or even 30 minutes to an hour, whatever, right? And you're like, you should even do it if you're an employee, because it's a whole community. But what I'm getting at is that it's like, it's just an emergency. I tell you what, there's nothing better than when you got something that you need, instead of having to call somebody doesn't understand where it's at, they have to go to the shop. It's all a bunch of time wasted. That is your biggest enemy, is time wasted. You go out there and make more money, but you can't make more time. So, but with more time, you can do more profitable things with jobs and stuff. So anyway, let's go inside for a minute here. Did enough yakking. If we got any other questions, we can always address them while we're here. I see Tanner's in there. I got the phone the funny way, Tanner, so you know how it is. I can't see the comments until I fire up the other phone, for the most part. But it is a beautiful day. A beautiful day in Michigan. The weather is just perfect. Nice breeze. Keeps those armpits from getting so sweaty. Great working weather. Great working weather. What to do with the tripod. So otherwise, I hope everybody had a good day. That's pretty much the end on the 6-inch tubes, in case I drag this out and people don't want to hang around. I get it on some of these videos. So if you're like, I want to hear what he says, that's fine. Stick around. Don't mind you being here. All right, how are we going to do this? I'm going to set this part up too well. Didn't think this out too well. Where's my camera crew? Camera crew, where are you? All right, let's see what we got here. Such a nice day. I want to get out myself a little bit. Probably do a little bit of chopping on some firewood, I think. You guys gonna sit right there for me? You guys gonna sit right there and be good? Let's see what we got here. So unprofessional. All right. I think we're clear. We're clear from here. Oh, hope everybody had a good day. All right. I'm going to get this fired up so I can take a glance here. But I tell you what, those tubes, they're kind of bulky, they're kind of ugly, but they work great. I see that one coming, the hair and makeup, the camera crew. BSO. Do. Love the tubes. They worked really good for us. And hopefully that's a nice tip for somebody out there that's either starting out or eventually going to get into a service vehicle. Like I said, for whatever reason, the vans, The vans work awesome for those tubes and the rack. And I don't really have a particular. I don't know really. I'm not. I don't know good brands um, for ladder racks. All I know is you probably do. You know, if you spend a little bit more money, you probably get a better quality. And like the one that was on there, I think it was only on there for like 3 or 4 years, maybe 5, and it rusted out pretty fast. But I remember at the time, I do remember it was something like I went with the cheap of the cheap because when you, I don't know what it is. So some of you guys, you got to remember like if you can outfit, if you're trying to save money, if you're trying to outfit a van, a service vehicle, I've had bins that I couldn't even like give them away. I mean, I just couldn't give them away. I mean, I get like maybe $100, $200, $400 tops on a good day. But when you go to buy those bins, if you buy them brand new and have like an outfitter, oh boy, I think it was. I mean, they're like I don't know, they're like $8, 1,200, $2,000 a pop. I mean, they are expensive. Every little accessory, like a hook rack, that's like 200, $300. I mean, just just outrageous, honestly. I mean, just ridiculous. So what my point is if you can find a good set that's not too bad beat up, I see a lot of them rust at the bases. Some of them aren't bad. I'm sure you could scuff them up and paint them. I'm just too lazy, so I don't scuff them up and paint them. I just throw them back in. Maybe spray a little like preventative oil on them or something just to help keep them rusting more, depending on how your vehicle's set up. But um, like I said, if you can find them, people, I mean, you can probably get them for just pennies on the dollar because they're just super, super expensive if you buy them new. So what I recommend is, like I said, if you can find some used ones, save some money, and you can probably even whoever's got them. Don't tell them I told you this, but you can like probably like offer them half of what they're asking, you know, and they'll probably take them because they've probably been sitting on them. There's like one of those things that people don't want. They don't want that used stuff. But anyways, that ladder rack, I don't know a particular brand. I've had decent luck sometimes with like WeatherTech. I think is it WeatherTech or WeatherGuard? I think it's WeatherGuard. Anything with a thicker coating seems to help. Um, because the thin paint for whatever, I mean, it was just on the corners and stuff, not even where we were using it heavy. It started flaking with the Michigan and the salt, and it's kind of weird because you think how much rust was on that ladder rack. You'd be like, oh my gosh, the windows are going to rust by this time, but the ladder rack just went kapoof, and the rest of the van and everything's fine, but it was just not very good. So I see Mr. Tanner's blowing it up. And like I said, too, if you guys are here or even after the video, you guys are more welcome to always ask questions. You can always email me. I put my email in the description below, or you can always comment on this video and I should see it. I've been doing pretty good, I think, at seeing most of the comments. And you can ask anything business or whatever you like. Just ran 2. So Tanner says he's been running over, he's got 2 6-inch, 2 slightly over 10 foot. Nice. So you got the 10 footers, man. Like I said, for us, for whatever reason, like I said, we can't, I wonder how, Tanner, do you stack them or do you run them side by side or what? Because we don't really, we are, I mean, on the top of our vans anyways, that's it, man. That's all we got for room. I mean, if we put one more pipe, unless we put it like stacked on top, which I can't say I've seen that done that way, and it make it like safe and secure without it being weird. Solid caps in the front. Someone forgot to put the back screw cap. Oh man, big job we had. Truck ran over a stick. Ooh, 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 ooh. I can't remember if I've lost anything out the back of our caps. The back ones were never so much the problem, the caps, right? It's always the front ones because that's where everybody's slamming on the brakes. And you know how it is, like If you drove a service truck, you know, especially with tubes on it, you know that sound. You hit the brakes, right, and it's and you're like, oh, and there's like nothing you can do. Like you can't like you like want to gun the gas for a second and make it stop, but there's a car in front of you. It's the worst feeling. Like I said, I know. Like I said, one of the guys that worked for me a long time ago, he shot angle. That one was scary. That one had a cap on it, a screw cap. I think it was old school on the Ford Rangers, and he actually sent angle iron. And that's why you got to like you really should put like metal caps on, or more reinforcement of some sort because he shot the angle iron through his cap because he did an emergency brake. It was in a very busy city around here. Went through the cap, went through the back windshield of an SUV, almost took out a baby. Almost took out a baby. I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. I can't believe we never still got a phone call. He said she was fine. There was glass in the back end. I don't know I don't know if he paid her off. I don't know what he did, but I waited for days and days of a phone call and somebody going, you know, like, because this guy was notorious for kind of lying. And I was waiting, dude. I was waiting so badly for that phone call and going, somebody, you know, you guys almost killed my baby, which person has the right, all the right, man. I mean, it was horrible, but I never got a phone call. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. You know, I mean, I was waiting for like, we're gonna pay for a detail of the vehicle. We're gonna get the back windshield replaced. We're gonna send, you know, them a new baby seat. We're gonna send them a basket of diapers. I mean, didn't happen. I broke one too one time on the cap, but mine didn't go anywhere. The because I've had it happen like 2 or 3 times. Like I said, one was when I didn't have the cap on. I shot the angle iron, damaged my vehicle. That was a stinker. Another time it broke through the cap, but it like just stopped still enough so I could just see it hanging out. And I'm like, oh man, it broke a cap. Now, like one of those things, you could put a door on the front and those 6 inch and put a padlock on it, but so you can reach some of that stuff. I don't know if that's not a bad, but you just sometimes you got human error in there, including myself. You know what I'm saying? So he says, been there, done that. We always had solid caps in the front, but someone he forgot to put back screw cap on. It was a big job. Ran over it, man. No damage, but could have been bad. Definitely a learning lesson. Heck yeah, man. Camber crew, that's right. It says when I put PVC tubes on the van, when the ladder gets here, I might prime and paint them. Oh, get dirt or something. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know for us the problem is like the PVC we nick it all the time. So I don't know what the maintenance would be like on that because we and oh you guys if you don't mind too, uh, give the video a like. It just helps bring more people in the algo like it, the YouTube algos. If you wouldn't mind, please. See, we got 2. Appreciate the 2. So it's just something like, you know, priming it, you know, the tube and stuff like that. Might not be a bad idea. I mean, it looked cool, ain't gonna lie. But I just, for us, like I said, we're kind of all about, you know, production in a sense, and ladders going up there smacking and just climbing around and banging and stuff, and they fade, they chip, whatever. You know, we just stick with the weight. But not a bad idea. I like it. It's a super good ladder racks for your hands down system. One full aluminum built in ratchet strap. I've had truck one, a service body, great. Ordered one van, can't wait. They even have full box systems for trucks. I think I know what you're talking about, the full box systems. I've seen those ones, those systems. But like I said, we are screaming tight. I might even walk out there again, but we are screaming tight for how the ladders go up there. Like we don't have any more room. Oh, it's his best one I've used so far, but it's $4,000. Yeah, that sounds about right for the whole system. Yep, that sounds about right. The whole side boxes, wheels, ladder, totally worth. I don't know. I was just thinking about it. I don't know if anybody's ever messed with them, but I don't really recommend them. Um, what's the name of them? Is it Truck and Go? I think it's called kind of like a Truck and Go. They're made down in Arizona. They're like inserts for your truck. Super expensive. I mean, I think I spent like 8 grand for my insert for my old truck, and you could take it out with a forklift or a skidster. Pretty sweet setup, but the resale on them is not very high, and I still like the van. The van, man, it's so hard. I can't tell you guys how hard it is. If you try to utilize like a personal vehicle to a service vehicle, it is hard. I done it, man. I'd clean that puppy out on a Friday. I'd get her all ready for the weekend to pull the boat, pull the camper. Then it's like you party hard all weekend, and Sunday comes, and you're just exhausted to have to go back, put the insert back in, reload anything. Because sometimes if you didn't, like me, I didn't really have my forklift wasn't quite strong enough, so I had some weight on it. I even had the kid or the wife even hang on the back sometimes for a little extra weight because I didn't want to unload the springs out of it. Um, and the bummer part is the first time I got that ladder rack, that insert that went in the back of your truck, I was in a rush and I was like, oh, sweet, I'm going to take this out on a job. Didn't realize that the ladder rack piece of it was protruding out. The thing slid forward just a little bit. It blew out my back windshield of my truck. Oh, so you got to put some wood blocks down there. Maybe not your setup, but mine did. I had to put, I think 4x4 blocks between, the wall of the box and that insert so it didn't slide forward again on that. And I found out if you slammed in the brakes hard enough, the thing would actually tip because I had it, especially if you had doors on top of it, because how the rack was built, it was extended out, because I only had a 6.5 foot. Yeah, mine was 6.5 foot. And I remember one time, man, I mean that thing come down and kind of clunked on the top of the hood, the truck. Talk about scary, man. That's what I'm saying. I can't stand trucks. I just can't stand them. Every way I try to set them up, it just I've tried all different ways. And like I said, some of the guys love them. That's great. If they work good for you, amen, brother. You know, I just gonna make them work for us. It says ladder rack was about 800-900 with shipping. Yeah, I don't. The torpedo tubes. The one truck I had, they sticked out. They always bounce. They're always bouncing. I'm aiming for you as I'm driving down the road. Hey, we got Mr. Sky. He didn't wait to the very end. What's up, Mr. Sky? Cheers. Appreciate that. Brandon, look up system one. Won't be upset. Hey, Rich Sky. Hope everyone had a good day. We'll give it a look. Awesome. Should put a ladder rack on. Oh, I'm missing it. Like I said, the heart. I don't know why it does this. Why does it do that? The heart's always right in the way. Should put the ladder rack on passengers, so you should walk around van to look for problems. Oh. I think Rich is going to be. We're going to do. We're going to have to. We got Rich around. We're going to start doing. We're going to start doing orange cones, kind of like. Who does that? It's like Frontier, Verizon, whatever. When they used to put all the. I wanted to see if this one did it, but I don't see. I'm surprised that ladder is so far away. I feel like we don't ever have that much room. We're going to take a look at this. Maybe I'm a liar. Shoot, man, maybe this one's set up different. Huh. Let's take a look here. Look at that. There's room. Looks like there's room in this one. Huh. Maybe this one's wider. Yeah, this one almost looks like you could put a couple, but there's screws and stuff in there. I don't know. I tell you what though, when I put this together, this brand here, it might be something you want to look at. Look at that, they even got their phone number on there. Is that Holman? Cap got these from a guy that he works with or something. Or not works, but just a friend. And he's another business. But man, I tell you what, these arms and the way this puppy comes down, it's even got a shock on it. It's got these rubbers on here. It's got this nice, it's got this frame in here. It's got this big old leveraging handle. Got the nice, the clip like most of them do. Locks in there. It was kind of a booger to put together, it felt like, but I just felt like everything was really nicely built. All the screws, and it's got a nice coating on it. I think it's already gone through a winter. See just a touch of rust. Probably can't really see it, but there's just a touch right there. But it's got this whole, it took some time. It took a good weekend to put this together. Then I tried some of that, golly, I can't think of that paint. It's for rust, because these get rusty from Michigan with the salt. And this is holding up well too. A lot better than what the the outfitter did. The outfitters, they just used some rattle can paint, you could tell. So I mean, that pipe got pretty rusty. They did a nice job welding and stuff though, but those ones, for some reason, like I said, it looks like there's more room in there. Huh. Well, maybe we can put another tube on there. Like I said, one suits us good. I could see why having a couple would be nice, but I tell you, it's just so nice to carry long torsion tubes, struts. I honestly would probably just consider going more 18 stuff on there, because like I said, it's just for emergencies. I just go 18. Like I said, if I got to chop it up, because what I would do is, if it's, it's just the cost of doing business, you know what I mean? So I just tell customers whatever it costs, add your percentages or whatever you want on it, and be like, hey, your door needs a strut, even though it needs a 16 and I got an 18, I just charge them for the 18 and then just replace it. Cut it down, things like that. Let's see what we got here. See what we got. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Should put that pasture side. The cable companies. That's right. Road flares. What's up, Mr. Tanner? He's got Weather Guard. Rich, do you like Weather Guard? Are you pretty sold on Weather Guard? I'm just curious. Help me out, because honestly, I don't know. I've never really paid attention enough. I feel like I've had some Weather Guard products, maybe even like a toolbox for an old truck or something, kind of more personal. And it always seemed like they had a nice thick coating on them, kind of that rubber coating that's really good. So like this one has kind of a coating on it too. I can tell it's a little bit heavier. I don't think it's as heavy as maybe a Weather Guard. But I just know, like I said, when we first got that van fitted, it got all the boxes and put on it. I know it was. I know I went with the cheap, because I think it was one of those things where things were just adding up majorly, right? Like I didn't have no idea that I was going to spend, I don't know, whatever what it was. It was definitely over $4,000. It was 4 and some change. And it just seemed like, I'd find little things to start adding on, and it got to be more expensive and more expensive and more expensive. And I was like, and they were like, we had to do a ladder rack just even for us to be in service, but I think like the tube was up in price, the caps added up, the fitting for the front, I didn't expect that, because I kind of had a general for the inside compartments, But like even that back door that protects the driver, whew, man, I mean, all those things, especially when they're brand new, like I said, they charge an arm and a leg for those. Just crazy how much they charge. But when it comes to, like I said, on the used side of it, I haven't never looked on Facebook for those, honestly. I used to look for them on Craigslist. I used to sell them on Craigslist when we got rid of a vehicle, we gutted it or something, had them around. I mean, I taught the crappy money that they'd bring in, I would just let them go with a stinking vehicle. They weren't even worth tearing out because I don't know, maybe you're gonna get $400-600 out of them. But I couldn't believe how much they charged for them brand new, but used, oh, I couldn't get no money for them. I mean, I was sticking them out by the road, trying to sell them. I was trying to find other uses for them. Let's see what he's got here. Says they're the biggest of the bunch. They are okay. So they're part of the Knox boxes. Nice, nice. So there you go. I'm sure you're going to pay a premium. Awesome. Let me check. I'm going to see if I can figure out how much battery I got on this puppy. It says you can't do that. You can't tip it sideways. That's a no-no. I'm just going to try something. I'm going to play around with this for a second because I realize I'm like, wow, the quality image. Let's try this. Let's see if we can do this. Bear with me. Oh my goodness. Now it'd be really nice if I could see. It must just be kind of part of the live because I don't know if the camera got any better. To be honest, I just wanted to see if I could make myself look prettier, but it doesn't seem to be happening. No cat filters. What you got with no cat filters? I got to do something different so I can see where I'm at. Because when you watch yourself and you read comments, it's a little goofy, I'm not going to lie. I definitely can't see a big difference in the camera. I wanted to try it for you guys. Thanks for being the guinea pig. Whoop. And whoop. But we'll just ride it out. We'll see. I don't know how I'm supposed to tell what my battery life's at. I guess I'll know I know how my battery life will be. When it freezes, it'll tell me on the old telephone. Actually, you can Tanner pop in there. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, skis. What you got? What you got? It says my cousin is in college to be a welder. So she is welding me up. Custom ladder. Ooh, for truck. Guys, just have to pay for material. Nice. That's awesome. I actually, it kind of brings up my brain or stirs my brain up a little bit because I used to have a guy right down the road here, and they used to make aluminum ones, and I don't know if I've only done maybe 1 or 2 aluminum welds in my life, and I probably wasn't really using the perfectly correct equipment, so my welds were really not good. But I'd have them build. They were doing them for the Rangers, and they could only use thin gauge stuff. But the Rangers didn't need a lot because we had the topper, so we just kind of built off the topper a little bit, and then they put a couple downs on the bumper, and they worked really good because I kind of got sick of painting them. So the aluminum one was really nice. So it's almost one of those things too, just for some of the new guys out there or anybody, right? If you can get one built out of aluminum, it's lighter, costs more, but it's nice. You don't have to paint it. It's nice. You don't have to deal with the rust. I don't remember really any drawbacks. They will corrode after a long period of time. but they were worked pretty good. We had a metal one. The metal one was heavy on the Ranger. It was solid though. It was a solid piece, but it also it would rust. So you have to paint it. And they're right up in the front, especially when you got your drops. Right up there with all the salt spray off the semis and everything. What's this say? Jump it up. I'm gonna write something on here. See if I can get this to move up. I can't see it. So that would get her some money to build it, but they don't charge labor. They don't charge labor, but I don't want to hear about it at Christmas. Ah, that's great. That's great. It's always nice, you know what I mean, to do that kind of stuff. You know, give them, you know, like I said, it just hey, a little money goes a long ways, right? It just helps, you know, that's for sure. Just helps them out, all that good stuff. Kind of sounds like when I used to do was it my vocational or whatever it was, you know, when we used to do automotive work and we would like body work was free. They had to pay for materials. We did automotive work, you know, because we were in training basically. So we were just kind of young and dumb kids, you know, if I'm saying. But anywho, like I said, what is it? About eight. We'll give it to about 8:15 ish. Like I said, if anybody's got any questions, garage doors, got a job, got a question, anything going on, don't be afraid to bring it up. Otherwise, I always like Tanner. He always is ringing my bell. Rich has always got some good jokes in there. Tony must be sleeping. What are you guys seeing? You guys still seeing anything? I've been hearing. I was just talking to another garage door guy today via text, and he was saying that now he's just starting out. He was saying it's pretty slow. Some of his ads aren't really doing much. And I told him, I said, I'd drop a vehicle off to the mechanics the other day, yesterday. And yeah, yesterday night. And I'm not going to lie, their parking lot was pretty empty. And for whatever reason, down Apple here, where the shop's at, there is always mechanic. We got a lot of mechanic shops, and I don't know if it just goes because we kind of live in semi-poor area, and people have a lot of cars to repair, but the cars are not in the parking lot. The tire place, not very many vehicles, which is really weird, right? Because normally right now is a pretty big gush of work. Um, it was kind of funny because he was saying something about fencing, which I know we got some fencing going on. And I said, yeah. I said, well, I said I can kind of see that. There's a few, you know, there's some estimates, that, but it's not gangbuster. I've seen it a lot busier, and it just doesn't seem. I'm not seeing it. No matter where I go, even our truck accessory place. Not a lot of vehicles sitting there, so people aren't, you know, that disposable income, discretionary money. A lot of people, I don't think it's there. I just don't think it's there. I think they're more worried about, you know, food and gas and the inflation on all that stuff. If they go out to the restaurants, uh, things of that nature. Just kidding, he says. Throw that on there. Oh, what's Tanner got? Tanner says, yeah, he says it's slow, but is picking up a little bit. But I see it picking up in a few weeks once things start getting built. Yeah, that's a good point too. You know what I mean? We're kind of in that. You got to remember, a lot of stuff is going to be, you know, foundations are getting poured, buildings are getting built, the houses. I mean, the people can start working faster. I've noticed that, and always in the garage door, it's kind of like a weird, you know, and sometimes it's almost kind of like it's like unfortunate sometimes because it'll That's why I always say we got to consider ourselves sometimes like firemen. You know what I mean? Because we don't know when the next fire's coming. You know, we don't know when the next broken spring's coming. We don't know when the next commercial customer calls and their door's crooked. And so you got to have enough cable on the truck. You got to have enough swedges on the truck. You got to have enough, solid shaft. You got to have spring clamps. You got to have vice grips. You got to have a come along, two come alongs. You got to have a couple grapples. There's all these things, right? And so you're like constantly waiting. You're constantly waiting. When's that phone gonna ring? When's that phone gonna ring? And bam. And all it takes is one job, man, and you feel like you're slammed. I mean, you get into something, they need a spring, you got the spring on order, and that's gonna come in 2 days. You know it's gonna take you 4 to 6 hours to get that spring installed, the two springs or whatever. You're gonna need an extra guy. You got another job that you're supposed to be on at that time. It's a hard schedule. And especially if you're like us, it's been like that. Some weeks you need 5 guys, and some weeks you need 20 guys, and it's a very hard it's a hard schedule to always, you know. Um, I'm sure tow truck drivers have the same problem. You know what I mean? Like I can imagine that can you imagine they keep certain people on the crew and they got to keep them somewhat busy and they got to keep payroll going. And then all of a sudden we get these big storms and they're like, oh my gosh, we need 5 or 6 more trucks. We got so many vehicles in the ditches. And, in a nutshell, it's kind of like thank God for competition because you couldn't do it all. Um, but that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Dun, 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 dun. What is it? 8 something on here. Um, but like I said, hopefully, I don't know. They keep saying those recessions, right? Those recession bells, they're there. They're there if we're not already in one. I don't know. It doesn't keep happening. That's for sure. I hope it doesn't, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. I tell you, you know, I'm not looking forward to November this year. I am not. I mean, it's going to be like hunting season. I like hunting season. I like the weather. I like fall. I like all that stuff. But man, I am not looking forward to the mudslinging, the ads, the propaganda, this and that, and how this was rigged, to how that was done, to this person did this. Somebody looked at me cross-eyed. Oh my gosh! If I had enough coin, I'd just go live up in the woods during that time. Wake me up in like yeah, right about now, about May 1st. Just be like a bear. Let me know how everything went, because it's gonna be pretty, isn't it? It's gonna be interesting. What's up? I see Rick's on here. Is it Rick Rice? Is it Rick Rice? Rice? I think it's Rice. Or something. Let me jump back on here, see if I can see it. It's weird because if I do it the horizontal way, your comments only show up for a few seconds. I can see them, but they're gone, so that's why I got to use the other phone. And then you'd be like a. There we go. Oh, Tanner must be on it, maybe. I think. Yep, Tanner's on it. Race was hidden. Cool. Appreciate it, Tanner. He must have been being bad. Let's play around with this a little bit since we're just kind of here. Uh-oh. Yeah, you can't be doing that. Remove. Some people, man. Some people's kids. I tell you what. What is this world coming to? Mm. Hey, Tanner, did you wrap up that commercial job? The one that you're working on? Did you finally get that done? I felt so bad. My brother-in-law, he was asking for Friday, I think, and then he was asking Saturday for some help. Couldn't help him out, man. I feel bad. He was working on a big dealership. I know exactly how that feeling is when you ain't got enough manpower. And of course, he had a lad that didn't didn't show up for him. I tell you guys, man, that's happens all the time. Like I said, I struggled with it for years, and I still haven't found a perfect solution unless you find just good, honest, reliable, trustworthy people. I was thinking about you guys a little bit today because I was thinking how there is kind of that side, you keep, stay small, keep it all, but there is the other beautiful side. Oh, that's cool. I see it says you finished it up, Tanner. Awesome, hoorah, good job. Make sure if you get a chance too, if you got any pictures, send me some pictures. Some of you guys probably don't know it, but Tanner does some phenomenal work. If Tanner ever gets booted out of the house and he needs somewhere to crash, he's always more than welcome to come up here, and I'll put him to work, man. I mean, he does some phenomenal work. Very good craftsman. That's awesome. But no, I was thinking about the team, right? And I thought, it really is so nice. You don't have to work that hard when you have a team. You know what I mean? It's everybody does a little part, right? And then even if somebody needs to take a day off, a personal day, um, it is nice not to have to depend on just one source. You know what I mean? It's there is some beauty to it. Must have something squishy in my pocket. Sorry about that. How rude of me. So, we'll give it a few more minutes. If anybody's got any questions or whatnot while I'm here. Like I said, I know it's early in the day, so it's kind of hard. Like everybody's out enjoying it because probably once I rock start off here, like I said, I'm gonna go find something to do with that sunshine out there because it's such a beautiful day. You gotta take them while you can get them, man. Just remember, every day is a blessing. Every day is a gift. My little one asked me today. She said something about. She says it's not your birthday, and I said it is my birthday. I said every day is a birthday to me. I said every day I wake up, I'm super happy to be alive because I said there will be a day for all of us that we don't wake up. Do 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 do. I said I'll get some this week. It was super blurry. Oh, with some, yeah. Windows took outside week. Oh man, beginning of next week. Nice. Nice, man. Can't tell you, if you guys, even you guys that are starting out, take pictures, man. Take pictures. Take lots and lots of pictures. Um, I ended up when I bought this the second, well not second, third, fourth, I don't know what phone I'm on now. I bought the Mac Daddy of iPhone. I'm still not really sold on the iPhone. I'm still a Samsung lover, but I went to iPhone because I had the FaceTime for kids and just everybody seems to know about FaceTime. I'm immune to it. I can use it, but I got the biggest storage I could get because videos with pictures. And so what I'm saying though is you should always take pictures. And the reason being is that especially if you're starting out anything, right, you can explain it. I take so many pictures of things, and I'll use them, right? I'll circle on them. Sometimes I'll edit them. I'll use them for employees, customers, um, you name it. I use it for them. It says this transmitter. Oh, this transmitter is almost dead. Okay, that's good. I was sitting here thinking, why is it still working when you got a little transmitter hung up there? So it looks like I said, if it goes rogue on me, my audio, I apologize. It's pretty much right there. Rich says, I love my Apple products. The only thing I wish I did have is I wish I had the Apple, some kind of um, Apple computer. That's the only thing. Laptop, desktop. I just that way everything could sync together in a sense. But it's definitely a little cult, whatever you want to call it, a little gang of this stuff. That's for sure on these. But this was my old one actually. I don't remember what this is. This is a Samsung, but I forget which one. But this one, the battery was getting dead on it so much. And I see feet says joking. Um, the ProBook, I could do ProBook maybe. I really like desktop. I like bigger screens, especially for like editing and just my eyes aren't getting any younger. So um, I probably want a desktop, but it's a lot of money. Um, but I'm not sure. Like I said, it's right now I'm experimenting with a few other things. We'll see. It just stinks too because about oh man, probably about a year ago or so, I bought two brand new, like $3,000 pop computers. We went through even here at the shop, got new printer. I think they even got some new computers. They're about 2 years old now, 2 or 3. So it's just a lot of money and technology. You know how this stuff is. It's like you throw it away, right? It just starts getting glitches in it. It starts getting, slow. Somebody's complaining about it. The printer's not printing right, blah, blah, blah. You just chuck it, right? That's the world we live in. It's kind of like with the garage doors, right? You got a problem with it, just chuck it. We don't fix them or repair them or anything. We just chuck them and put a new one in. That's the world we're living in, unfortunately. Ah, I think my audio went dead. There went the audio. Well, hopefully you can hear the audio towards the end. I just wanted to say adios, amigo. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week if I don't see you or whatever. Make sure you keep your fingers. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for being here. I was trying to say thanks, Tanner. Thanks, Rich. Thanks, Sky, for you guys being here. Love y'all. We'll see you on the next one. It's back. I know. Awesome. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go enjoy some of that sunshine before it's gone. Because I think tomorrow's a rain day. I think. So you can't really do much outside work if it's raining. Got to make hay when the sun's shining. See you guys.